What's the nastiest thing you've seen at a party? Hi Reddit guys, subscribe now, or I will ride a chicken. Had to pick the lock to the bathroom, because this girl had not responded for some time. Coming in, we find her sleeping over the toilet, puke in the bowl. Her pants were down, but not the thong, and she had managed to it herself, splitting the it right down the middle. Classic log splitter. Someone knitting in a kettle and then switching it on. Room cleared. Can someone find the post where the guy threw up chunks of fruit in the punch bowl, and people ate the chunks all night? That's got to be one of the worst. I was at a house party years ago, and there were about 10 people crammed into a very small bedroom. A 16-year-old girl does her first beer bong, with room temperature Milwaukee's best. 4 non-Americans, one of the pissiest of pissy US beers. She managed to finish it, wide-eyed and shaking her head in denial of what we could all see coming. She proceeds to projectile vomit every drop of liquid she'd consumed, but for some unholy reason kept thrashing her head around, as if to deny it or make it not happen. I've never seen so much throw up in my entire life, and since she was more or less in one corner of the room, I don't think there was a single person in there that didn't get hit by the explosion. My best friend, whose room it was, took the brunt of it. The initial blast took the pool fricker directly in the face. I managed to curl up into a terrified little ball and only had the side of my arm and leg lit. It was just the worst puke ever. This kid had to take at least 2 deep breaths in between puke geysers. Blugga blugga blug. Inhale. Blugga lababa. Inhale. Bledja dribble. Cow 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 sob sob. It was an amazing, horrible thing to witness, like I imagine a poison gas attack would be. Everyone reacted as though someone had dropped a grenade. Some tried to flee, literally climbing over one another and jamming up in the doorway trying to escape at the same time. Some, like myself, just sort of hit the deck and prayed they would be spared. It was a goddamn war zone of bath afterwards. Furniture had to be thrown away. A GameCube was destroyed. Afterwards, this poor girl just looks around in horror at what she'd done and breaks down into the most choking sobs I've ever seen. It took us a little while to feel bad for her, but, of course, it could have happened to anyone. Girl gets wasted. Proceeds to get butt-ass naked and finger herself on the couch for all of the party to see. Made for an awkward internship environment for the rest of the summer. I was at a party when I was about 17. Reunited with an ex-girlfriend and got pretty drunk with her. At the end of the night most people left or passed out, and we had a room almost to ourselves, besides the mostly quiet, sorta sheltered chick everyone was surprised to see there, sleeping in a recliner. So we get to making out on the couch and the clothes come off and we start going at it. She says to me, "Wait, do you hear that?" Indeed I did. It was the passed out chick in the recliner about 5 feet from us fingering herself with reckless abandon. Really going to town on it, moaning, etc. We started cracking up and turned the light back on and she continued for a few more minutes until she was done. A good time was had by all, I guess. One of my guy friends chugged 151 straight from the bottle for 10 seconds. He then proceeded to projectile vomit on everyone in a 3-foot radius exorcist style. Damn, I chugged half a fifth of Cuervo straight from the bottle on New Year's. I woke up in the hospital and apparently I had thrown a jar of nacho cheese and chips around my living room. Some guy was just walking around naked carrying a poodle. He was erect. It's called presenting. Some guy was just walking around naked presenting a poodle. He was erect. My friend did a backflip on a trampoline while at a party and piss drunk. Ended up clipping his chin on the metal part of the trampoline and opening it up. There was a bit of blood, but not that much. However, he definitely needed stitches in his chin. So a friend who is an army medic thought it'd be a good idea to stitch said friend's chin up with a sewing needle and some thread. He actually did a pretty neat job of it as the friend who whacked his chin didn't want to leave the party. All was going well until a person who had arrived to the party after the incident thought the person had a piece of thread on his chin and decided to yank it off, not knowing we had stitched his chin. We were having a party at my apartment. Last day, frick, that place kind of party, and there were like 8 people out on our little balcony smoking cigarettes. And there was one chick holding her beer, and she seemed pretty fricked up, but pretty much everyone was. But she was standing right in the middle of the balcony, puts the beer in her hand up to her lips and proceeds to vomit. She thinks the bottle will catch the vomit, but instead it was like putting your thumb over the end of a hose and just sprinkled the entire freaking balcony. I mean, top to bottom, everyone out there was just covered. Freshman year of college, 2011. A guy ate a digested piece of poop corn from a toilet bowl for a box of wine. We called him the Colonel until he dropped out less than a month into the semester. Holy, it was this in Tampa? Of course it's Florida. In high school, I was at a party and there was a Chinese girl there who must have been about 4 feet 9 inches. She was wasted. I remember standing next to her and looking at her, and she had turned a color that I can't even describe. She then got down on all fours and threw up everywhere. The most horrid looking puke I'd ever seen, all over my shoes and the carpet. Everyone went dead silent. For some reason, I asked her, "What did you eat?" And she looked up at me from the floor, eyes bloodshot, puke dribbling down her face, and said, "Baja fresh," and then threw up all over again. I watched my best friend's dad put a $20 bill in his daughter's pants while she was pretending to strip. He encouraged her to take it off and watched as she made out with dudes. Oh, and to add to it, while the sister was hot, think Kirby Smulders only had 16, while the dad was a big biker dude who looked like he would have rode with the Sons of Anarchy, earning her allowance. This comment is just so bad. It's good. Kobe Smulders at 16? Did she often go to the mall? My friend's ex came to crash his housewarming party at his new apartment. At some point she got incredibly drunk and took it in the elevator. My friend had long passed out, so I took a bag, picked it up and tossed in the garbage chute. I could feel the warmth through the plastic. Sigh. In the morning, after someone let her know what she did, she asked me if it was at least cute. She wanted to know if her poop was cute. What? Well, don't just leave us hanging. Was it cute? This is definitely not the response you were expecting. But one time, when I was 9 or so, my parents hired this reptile guy to host my birthday party. He brought this huge lizard and it projectile pooped all over our living room. You people seem alright. Your friends, however, are freaking disgusting. Friends. A guy took a 2-liter bottle and cut it in half. Then he screwed the threaded end into his a-hole. Another guy walked over and pissed in his butt. The old fill up the gas tank routine, aka the full service treatment. You both are some nasty motherfrikers. That's how X works, right? You pee in their butt? I got a lap dance from a meth-mouthed, obese, energy drink chugging chick on my 21st birthday. I turned in, and as I drifted off to sleep, crash, she belly flopped onto and subsequently broke down through the slats of my IKEA bed. She was wasted, and she just rolled around on the disabled furniture repeating AHM gonna steamroll ya. AHM gonna steamroll ya. Sounds like something some B-rate supervillain would say. Or Pam from Archer. I was at this chick's 21st birthday party, and she proceeds to get obliterated drunk. She then loudly demands a Taco Bell bean burrito. Someone acquiesces and gets her one. She proceeds to unwrap the burrito, open the tortilla, and starts to scoop beans into her mouth. Her face ends up being covered in beans. She then proceeds to cry because she missed her dog that was sitting next to her. I married her 2 years later. That was an unexpected ending. This girl Jennifer came to the party and then pooped where people could see. Damn. After reading these comments I realized 2 things. My crazy party stories are not that crazy. Hitting yourself when drunk is fairly common. Don't regret number 1 considering the number 2. Pun intended. Former FWB drew blood from a vein in his peanuts with a syringe then drank the blood. Neat. Thread over. You win. Saw an overweight girl passed out on a chair in the kitchen. Her legs were spread and she had it herself. Her nickname from that point on was It Burrito. I've seen a drunk friend lick whipped cream out of a stripper's a-hole. Meth head stripper, not hot stripper. Later in the evening he attempted to shove a donut up his own a-hole and then proceed to eat the remains of whatever fell out of his ass crack. He attempted to shove a donut up his own a-hole. What? Frick, it wasn't really nasty. Well, kinda. Funny. I don't know what to call it, but there was this one party that we threw. We always threw some wild ass parties. Anyways, middle of the party I heard chanting, "Frick that table, frick that table," from outside. I go outside to see what's up. This fat dude was so drunk he was fricking the wooden table. There was a little hole I believe and he was, but naked fricking the table. He was going wild too, slapping the table and everything. He then literally fapped on the wooden table and raised his hands up in triumph and everyone cheered. He stayed the night. Mind you, I never met this kid before, and in the morning we all gave him it. He had no recollection of fricking the table. Fricking parties, man. His nickname should be Woodpecker or Master Splinter. Okay Reddit guys, subscribe now or I will ride a chicken.